It says, oh, there we are, live. Okay, we can say hi to everybody. We're live. We're live. Hi, everybody.
Hello, everyone. It's so great to join with you, and we're looking forward to having this time together to share together.
Yes, so sorry that you had to hold on, but what we've tried to do, we really want to thank AIM Head Office, and it's Skip that's sitting at the head office that's tried to connect us, and that's what networking is all about, isn't it? About connecting people. So I wanted to share with you this evening. I said we'd have a very special guest, and we really do. And I just wanted to share with you the special times that we had here in South Africa. I know that those of you who didn't get the opportunity to meet with Kathy and Russ while they were here on their tour to South Africa are really disappointed. Many people did. But those of you overseas, I'm sure, well, those of you in the US and Canada, I'm sure you're going to be very envious, but in a good way, but also of special had in South Africa. So it is because of AIM and the AIM opportunity that we are able to network in this way. And what we did was, Kathy and Russ, Kathy can share with you some more just now, but they came to South Africa and they saw Cape Town, they saw Durban, Johannesburg, Pretoria, and then we had some time out where we went fishing in the little village of Dullstroom. But what was wonderful was that almost 19 years ago, when I went to my first conference in America in Scottsdale, I noticed Jim and Carolyn Kling. And immediately I was drawn to them, to just their wonderful big hearts and their passion for the AIM company and network marketing. And now it's been my privilege to be able to form a wonderful, special friendship with their daughter Kathy and her husband Russ. And so we did some videos while they were here, and unfortunately the videos weren't of a quality that I want to share with you today. So I asked Kathy if she would come on live. And so thank you to Skip and to the AIM head office for making that possible. And Kathy will be sharing a bit with us today about her role and about the AIM story and how it actually all began and the role that her parents have played and their family have played. So welcome to you, Kathy. I am so glad that I'm looking so forward to Branson because I have missed you. When you climbed on the plane and you flew back home, it was like you just left this big emptiness here behind. So I can't wait to really see you again face to face. But I'm so excited to be sharing with you today.
Thank you, Joan. I can't tell you how much we enjoyed our trip to South Africa, and I just want to talk briefly about that and how we met you and how many years we've had such a wonderful friendship together. It was years ago we met you at an AIM convention, I'm sure, maybe even at my parents' house when we had that picnic in their backyard with your family. And then we've seen you and had many times together at conventions. But when you extended the invitation for us to come and visit you in your home in South Africa, it was just a wonderful invitation, actually a trip of a lifetime. And the fact that it coincided with the 10th anniversary of the orphanage that we have been supporting worked out so beautifully. But the last week when we shared together and flew around to the different cities in South Africa and met all the great AIM members, what a wonderful time that was. You had said to me that the South Africans are very friendly people, but I had no idea. Russ and I have been telling people they are the most friendly people in the world. We've traveled to several countries. I've traveled more than Russ, but I've never met people who are so genuinely kind and just giving of themselves and their time. I received so many gifts. I came home with a suitcase full of gifts, but more than that, people opened their hearts to me, and I just felt such reception from people. It was really wonderful. I will treasure all those times. Every different place we did meetings had a different feel, but the people were the same, genuinely warm, wanting to hear about AIM and the AIM products, and so eager to learn about how they can help their health in natural ways. And Joan, you were talking with me before the webinar about networking and how that works, and that's what the convention at Branson is going to bring about for new people who've never been to convention, but also for people who have been there for years. We form these deep friendships that even span continents. And over time, we grow to just love each other more and more and learn to bond together in the Lord and through our great AIM products. And the great benefit for me has been a health benefit. You were sharing with me how you take more of the Flora food, and it helps with jet lag. And I can't tell you, I've never experienced so little jet lag in my life. I have felt so good since I've been home. And I've been taking 6 to 8 Flora food a day, and I feel the extra energy that you were telling me it gives you. And I was able to get home. My mom had knee replacement surgery the day I got home, so I spent many hours in the hospital that first week, and then I had a concert, so every night I was singing for 2 hours, and I was just able to carry this schedule out and sleep well because of our wonderful AIM products. So not only did our friendship benefit, but you've helped my health a lot. And just being together over that period of time, we can speak into each other's lives. And I thank you for that, Joan. What a wonderful time it was.
Thank you, Kathy. And we learned a lot from you too. And again, just to reiterate, this is what networking is all about. I was saying to Kathy that the biggest reward for me out of network marketing has been the friendships and the relationships that have been built. So while we are often people that are drawn together for a common cause, which is to want to serve others and help improve their quality of life, particularly through their health, the added benefit, of course, is that you learn to build genuine friendships, and also that we can learn from each other. Because none of us can, it's teamwork, right? And teamwork means that we are more than one person. So not one person ever has all the answers or can go and do it out there all on their own. There's strength in teamwork, and there's strength when we are united and we stand together. But we learn from each other. So I learned so much from Kathy, and she shared on the digestive system. She shared a lot on Prep Science and Flora food. And I think, Kathy, I'm quite excited because you're going to be sharing at Branson with us as well, aren't you?
Yes, and I'm really excited because as I've been sharing and preparing for sharing, then I'm learning too. And just like I learned from you about taking extra Flora food and how beneficial it is to really flood our body with good bacteria, beneficial bacteria, I'm learning so many things. God has connected me with this wonderful athlete from South Africa who's attending our university here in Boise. And she has many health challenges, but we feel that the digestive system is where it all is stemming from. And speaking of networking, her parents were able to join us down in the Stellenbosch area, down by Cape Town, and I got to meet her parents, which was wonderful, since I've been working with their daughter for several months through some crises that she's had. But they've become then aware of the AIM products and how they can help their own health, and they have started on Barley Life. I just talked with them yesterday about how they're doing on the Barley Life and how it's going to help them with energy, and also speaking to them about their daughter. And so all of these things increase my knowledge and my passion for the digestive products that AIM has and how good they are. And I can't wait to share at Branson the things that I'm learning as I help other people on their journeys to health. So I'm excited about that. And also, Joan, I'm really excited about the part that you're going to be playing at Branson, because I know that your passion is for network marketing. But you know what I see in you, Joan, that speaks so deeply to me is your passion, you say, is for network marketing, but it's actually for people. You love connecting people. You told me that was your passion, and I see it in everything that you do. And you do it in a way that makes people feel honored and respected for who they are, and not in a way that you have any agenda. You just love them for who they are and try to enrich their lives in however God is directing them. I felt that so personally from you. And you know, you and I talked about that, the way God made us and how God has a bent for each of our life, a direction, and you accept that. And that's what I feel from you. And I'm excited to hear what you're going to share at convention, how that will work out through our AIM businesses.
Well, thank you. Speaking about that, I just wanted to read a few points here because for those of you that do live in the USA, and by the way, for those of you who are listening from South Africa, and I know we usually have people that tune in more from the USA, but we're wanting to do something in South Africa for the local people here to connect more than one person, like what we've just done with Kathy. So if you'd like to be on that or part of that or involved in that, please let me know. But I wanted to just read something here, and this is part of what I'm going to be sharing. And if I can just find it, I've got a whole lot of notes here which I've been putting together, and that's on networking and Branson. But here it is: promoting and attending events. I've had a few people contact me via Facebook and via email, and often what they're always saying is, you know, I do realize that for some people it just doesn't fit within their budget, but there are others who don't see the need or the necessity to come. And I want to encourage you today, because if you can just see how Kathy and I are interacting, you can see that this friendship, this specific friendship, was formed at a conference or a convention as such, and that's why it's crucial to really attend. And so often what we do is we get our little AIM check once a month, and we would go sometimes and just spend it at random. But if we could take the check and reinvest it back into our business, and take that check, because sometimes people think, well, I really need it for something else, but what did you do before you had it? And so take that check and reinvest it, and it will be well worth it, into your AIM business, which would be to attend the conference. And so here are some reasons, and I picked this up with another network marketing company's leaders website, where she had said, did you know that if you want success in network marketing, then events are non-negotiable? So that was quite interesting. That's not something I said, but it says here, if you don't attend events, the chance of being successful in the years that lie ahead become less and less. Because in this industry, most of the people that quit their network marketing businesses is because they are not attending events. And so if you want to be a leader, then one of the most important things you need to do is to attend events so that you can encourage your team. And I just want to just read a list of the benefits that there are. Events build belief. They build belief. And that's what our Branson is called this year: believe to achieve. So events build belief, belief in your company, belief in yourself, belief in the products, and belief in the business. Events build momentum, and momentum is something which we need to build up to become successful and to be able to have the desire to achieve our goals. Events build relationships, and I put in brackets here, face to face, and that was so special that Kathy and I could share that time. Events inspire and they motivate you, they teach you, and they give you new information. You learn new techniques and you learn to expand your ideas. Events are the #1 technique for engaging and converting new team members. When you leave an event, you are so full of passion and energy, and it's to keep that momentum going. You generate more leads. Your mind is challenged, your heart is inspired, you are encouraged, and you often find the answers that you have to many challenging questions which we face today. So I'm hoping, while there still is time, that we are going to see even more people at Branson than what we've ever seen before at an event. So I want to ask Kathy, don't you want to share with us? I read the book that you helped, that you wrote or authored, which was your mom's, which was Turning Green into Gold. And I tried to find that book because we had it while you were here, and I just must have mislaid it. But I wanted to hold it up. But that book meant so much to me, was to see your mother's passion for really turning AIM into a business. And I think the best person to ask about that is to ask Kathy. So we'll just wait until, she's found the book.
There it is. So thank you, Joan. This is my mom's book, Turning Green into Gold, although it's backwards on camera. But we did
seeing it the right way.
Good. We did write that soon after I began working with my mom. Then I noticed that people would contact her, people like you, only this was even before that, I think, but people would contact her for mentoring, and they were wanting to know how she became so successful and how they could become successful in the same way. And I said to my mom early on, there is no way you can mentor all these people. I know you want to mentor them one-on-one, but it's so difficult. So let's think of a way we could do that so that many people could be mentored by your passion for the AIM business and how you built your business. So she and I thought that a book might be the best way. And so it took me about a year and a half, but we took a week and we went out together to a mountain retreat and just spent a week together. It was a really precious time, mother and daughter time, at a condo up in the mountains. And we had lovely, refreshing times, but we spent many hours where I would just ask her to tell her stories about how she got into AIM and what she did when she decided to become very passionate about her business. And we recorded all those stories and then wrote them. Then I wrote them down and added more stories as we went through the process. But you were speaking about convention and how vital it is to get there, and that's one of the chapters in the book is about associate and how important it is to associate with people of like mind. It's just like anything. If we become isolated, we lose our passion, and we don't get the fresh ideas, we don't get the fresh people to challenge us and encourage us. And so she wrote how vital it was to her. In fact, what really spurred her on to aim for the Chairman's Club, which is the top level in AIM, was going to a convention in Texas. She went to a convention in Texas, and I'm sorry about this. We're here at the office, so I'll just take care of that. So she went to a convention in Texas. Well, actually, it was at a leadership retreat where she was challenged to set her goal. But from that, she decided to use her money, just as you said. She used her AIM check to fly to Texas on her own money and go to this little AIM convention they had in Texas. And she and Edna Smith set their goal together to aim for the Chairman's Club in 3 years. And every year after that, she invested her own money to fly to Texas and go to the AIM convention, because it was one regional convention that was very lively. It was full of members who were really doing their AIM business, and she wanted to catch that passion and to keep it alive in her. So when I started working for my mom in 1998, that was one of the first things we did. Was we went to the Texas Barley Life Convention, and I got connected with those people down there and fell in love with AIM members. And I then started to learn what wonderful people we have in AIM, what genuine and loving people there were. And every year we have gone to that convention. I think we have skipped 1 or 2 since I've been here in 17 years. Because it's been really vital to us to stay connected. And we also then have used our own money to fly to Ohio. because that convention there and what Charlotte's got going there is just lovely with Dr. John and Ralph Peterson, and connecting with those people has been very vital too. So not only just going to the Branson Connection or the national convention, but also attending any regional events that there are to stay connected and to help you with ideas and how people are doing their business and even health ideas. I get health tips every time I go, just like with being with you. So that was one of her main passions and main way that she built her business was through attending events and conventions. It's vitally important, and I love your idea of using your AIM check. In fact, we were talking about my mom's, her biggest passion was for goal setting, as you know, and any of you who know my mom know that was her number one thing. She was about goal setting, but you know what her number one goal was every year? It was making it to convention as a top winner. Every year. That was her first goal. And she would, when we got that announcement at convention on Saturday night, and I can't wait this year to hear where it is next year because I love to travel. Mm-hmm. And so I can't wait to do that. And then she would read over that pamphlet with the rules and how she was going to earn her way. And then we would have a session as soon as we got back into the office. How are we going to break these goals down into every month, into every week, into every day? How are we going to attain the highest level in this convention so that we can get there for free? And I see that many, many people this year have attained the top that AIM allowed for attaining that convention prize this year. And that's wonderful for me. But that was her number one way she really catapulted her business, was setting her goal to make it to convention. That was the first importance for her. So it's just great to talk with you about the goal setting and how she did that. And she details all of this in her book. And I'm hoping in the next year, Joan and I were talking about how to include some of these wonderful tools that the AIM members have developed over the years, like my mom sharing how she built her business from the grassroots up. There are many other business builders who have such great business tips on how they have built their business, and using those through this Chrysalis website and your tools there. So I'm hoping that we can get it published as an ebook and maybe including that so people would have better access to it this year. And I think you have plans also for including many other tools of the business builders who have been successful in how they built their AIM business.
Yes, you know, that's what I want to be working at. We were just listening to you talk, and I didn't even realize that I also always set a goal to be at as many conferences as I could. And I didn't even realize that I'd set a goal, that I had, you know, subconsciously set that goal in my mind, but that was definitely a goal that I'd always set. So I didn't even, you know, that just happened automatically without me having sat down and really worked at it. But what I know I did sit down and work with, because I know your mom is very, very thorough in the way she operates and runs her AIM business like a proper business should be, and you support her in that, because make no mistake, it's a full-time job and it takes a lot of work. But I know for the specific goals which I had set to become a chairman's club, and I know that we have a few people that we are dear friends with who are working towards that goal right now as well. So I've been putting together some different work plans, some different packages and ideas in how to achieve these goals and how to break it down. And I think that that's something we'll all be addressing at Branson, is goal setting and how to achieve these goals and actually make them, you know, realistic enough that you can realize your goals and your vision. And so we're going to be looking at that. We're going to be expanding what Chrysalis is all about moving forward in the future. That's a goal that I have, is to really incorporate all the leaders in AIM, because we each have something different and unique to bring to the table, and we can all learn from each other. So I'd like to encourage you now. I do have a new website that's up and running. And I'd like to encourage, what I would enjoy is business testimonies. So if you'd like to be on that, the business testimonies, if you can send us a photograph of yourself as well as your business testimony that has worked for you. And maybe what we'd also like to hear is the different areas where you would like to see or to have more input. And I know that Kathy, you've just been sharing now specifically how your mom is very high on goal setting and on consistently working at achieving those goals. Is there, I think what we'll do is we'll leave some time open for questions and answers, because I'm sure many people would like to ask Kathy some questions as well today. So but for the next 10 minutes, I think we can still share a little bit more. Kathy, is there anything else that you would like to share? Specifically, I'd like to think, trusting that your mom, that we're going to be able to share more at Branson. But anything else that you really felt that really you saw your mom applying, or your dad? I know your dad, principles that they applied. Anything else that you might like to highlight, which you found contributed towards their success?
Yes, well, yes, thank you, Joan. And I do have some tips that I could share about how my mom built her business and how I learned from her. Just working alongside her, I learned so very much. This was just not something that I had ever planned to do, and yet when the opportunity arose for me to work with my mom, it really worked out. It just seemed to be in God's plan. And I have been so happy working here. What a blessing to work with my mom, just as I know your family does business together. Your sons help Chris in his business, and there's no greater joy than having our family work alongside and being able to learn and share together in our deepest passions. And I just wanted to say that that when you share about one of your gifts, and I don't want people to be worried about the whole goal setting thing in convention, because one of the things that I've learned through setting my goals is that goal setting is personal for each person, and how we do our AIM business is depending on the talents and gifts that God gave us, and that we utilize those in the direction that God wants us. And that's what going to convention really helps us to discover. We have time to network with people to see, well, this one does their business this way, and this one that way, and it just gives us time to be connecting with people and seeing, well, what does God have in mind for me to affect the health of people around me? What does He have in mind to use my talents to help those around me? And as we can learn from each other how to use our own talents. Your talent is networking, and you use that in such a great way, Joan, to connect with me, and I know you do with many other people. But that was my mom's passion also, was networking and getting to conventions. And, and the goal setting was very, very big. And in her book, she has this 90-day plan, which is a very, it's like a hypo boost to get your AIM business just going. And she wrote that one time on an airplane. She said she was sitting on an airplane trying to remember, what have I done in the last 3 months that really catapulted her business from just going along. She was, I think, a Star Sapphire director, and it was just going along at a few thousand a month she was getting, and she wanted to really boost her business, and she did. In 90 days she just catapulted her business. And so she wrote down step by step what she did while she was sitting on the airplane, how all the steps that she took and to build her business just really catapulted it. So that's a really wonderful tool, and I plan on putting that on your website along with my mom's business testimony and some of the tips that she has in how to sign up people and how to how to keep track of a contact. There are just many tips that are really vital and seem intuitive until we start doing it. And then I see a lot of times that that people can use help in those areas. So I see some of the comments are coming on now, and do you want to address those? I think we've answered those comments on how many flora food. I think, Joan, you take 8 flora food a day.
Yes, you know, I was just sharing with Kathy that when I travel, every time that we've been to the USA, this is so interesting. Initially, I just used to take flora food. You know, all of us can say, oh, we've had some candida, but also because whenever you travel, your digestive system is out of sorts. And so I can honestly tell you that in the past, having used so many different kinds of intestinal flora, AIMS by far surpasses all of the others. And particularly what makes AIMS unique is because the original culture was of human flora. So the body recognizes and identifies it as its own. And so I found that when I cut down, when I came back, my energy levels would dip. And then I found something very interesting just by observation. That was the more flora I took, the more energy I had. And I couldn't quite connect it. And then I realized that because flora also helps to restore adequate balance your pH, it also aids with the absorption of your nutrients. So when your immune system is healthy and your digestive tract is healthy, you have better absorption of your nutrients, and are then obviously you can utilize them more effectively. So we also found that with Chris's condition, when he was exposed to that bird, which you know, which smashed into his face, it's a scavenger bird, and he was exposed to a lot of parasites and really bad, you know, really he could have. The doctors expected him to pick up some sort of infection, and then we were giving him about 10 flora food a day, and currently we still use between 6 and 8 flora food a day because there's just such a vast array of benefits. But I really enjoyed also your mom's 90-day plan, and I think that's what we're going to be talking on next time is 90 days. And I like the 90-day plan because AIM gives you 3 months to get to director, and it really works in threes. So we're going to talk about really working in threes. You need 3 directors to attain each new level in the elites. But so, Kathy, maybe we should see if there's anybody that wants to ask anything or ask Kathy anything. Kathy's really done a lot of research into the intestinal floras and digestive enzymes, and I just learned so much from her and how she's actually using it with somebody now that God has brought into her life to mentor. So Rita, it's exciting to hear that we're going to be seeing you, Rita from Canada. Can't wait to see you. And I know Jan, I don't know if I ever pronounced your name right. That's my South African way. Is it Jan or Jan? But I know we're going to see you too, so that's exciting.
Yes, I'm really thrilled.
Okay.
Sorry, Joan. I'm really thrilled to see everyone, and Jan, I'm excited that maybe you can make it this year. I missed you, I think, the last year or two, and so I know sometimes family obligations come on top of things, but it's going to be wonderful to see all the different people there, and what a great location. And I do plan on continuing my flora food. That's exactly what I found, Joan, was since I've been home, well, since I've been traveling and been home, my energy has been so much greater than it had been. And I just really thank you for that tip. I've been sleeping better, and I'm thinking that maybe it's addressing my chronic insomnia that I've had for so many years, because I slept very well while I was at South Africa. So I'm planning on taking that to Branson and continuing taking so many of them every day. I've been taking 6 to 8, and I just feel my energy level is so good when I should be suffering with jet lag, and I'm just not. So what a wonderful thing. So if anybody has any, go ahead.
No, I was saying we kept you so busy. I'm really so thankful. Kathy has such a serving heart. And I know we've been speaking a lot about Kathy's mom and even Kathy's, you know, the role that Kathy's family have played in AIM. But I really want to thank you, Kathy, for making yourself available to the South African people. You really served us, and you were so adaptable, you and Russ. We worked on such a tight schedule, and there you can see Lee said she's not joining us. You got to meet Lee Buckle in Pretoria. She flew up from Durban, and you got to meet with Lee. But I know that Lee's already planning to be with us next year. We don't know where it's going to be yet, but Lee's planning to be with us next year, so that's exciting. And Lord, maybe Kathy, you remember we've got a very nice photograph of you and Lee together. So, Lee, I'm going to be putting those photographs up on the Chrysalis website.
Yes, I met so many people, and Lee, thank you for coming. I was just overwhelmed that you would fly up from Durban and spend your time and expense to come and meet with Russ and I. It was so wonderful to meet you and all of the people there. I know for the South Africans that it's a big commitment to come to convention, and I just think it's wonderful how many of you come, and I've met many of you, and I'm looking forward to more and more coming to convention as you work together to meet your goals and maintain your passion. So thank you so much, Lee, and we'll look forward to seeing you and maybe someday again in South Africa.
Yeah, Lee, you're a good example of somebody that invested out of your own to make a plan to meet with Kathy. That you're a good example of that. Thank you. Kathy, I just want to ask you something, because you did mention in your presentations in South Africa how one can increase your flora food as well as your digestive enzymes, because there's so many other benefits to it, aren't there?
Yes, I don't know if you can see me. My computer screen is blank.
We can see you. You shared a very interesting story on Dr. Bernard Jensen.
Yes, that was a wonderful story. In fact, that has catapulted me to try to use that with my little friend here from South Africa, because it was just such a surprise. And several of you have been on my webinar, which I also talked about this testimony of Dr. Bernard Jensen, who has written many, many books on natural health and the colon health and juicing, the benefits of juicing, but he got cancer in his later years, and he was dying and weighing 70 pounds in the hospital. And Dr. Michael O'Brien, who helped formulate our PrepZymes and Flora Food, went to visit him in the hospital and just asked him if he could help him, try to help him. And he gave him the equivalent of hundreds of PrepZymes and Flora Food each day. I think he mixed them in water, so he didn't put them in capsules, but mixed them in water. And he said it was like 500 PrepZymes and 200 Flora Food, or vice versa. And within a few weeks, he was up walking around and really able to check out of the hospital, and it was just miraculous. And he wrote another book about his healing, even at 85. So it just tells you about the power of flora and proper digestion, breaking down our food and getting those enzymes in there. It just tells you about the power and how much healing power there is. And really, health begins in the gut. I really believe it does, and it just resides there with our microbiome, and it's a, you know, it's exploding area of science right now, and there's so much research, and I can't wait to share more with you at convention. So thank you to all who have been on this webinar. I see Charlotte on here, and yes, Charlotte, we see your passion for attending conventions each year, and look at what you have attained. And I know that you make it a high priority, Charlotte, and you've also made it a priority to include your families in that. I see that often you include your families, and they come to convention, and then they're exposed to the great teaching, so you're affecting the health of your family and giving them a great vacation too. So what a wonderful thing. And then Yoli, I know that you're going to bring people. Yoli, you are a wonderful networker, and you get your downline on conferences and bring them all the time, and I'm excited. I think maybe you're presenting also, Yoli, so I'm excited to hear what you would have to say, and it's going to be a wonderful time. Rita, you know, AIM does not recommend Flora Food and Prep Science together, and I've been taking them separately, but this testimony of Dr. Jensen just showed they just flooded his body with them both together. So I don't know if that's, you know, what that does, but it worked in that case. So I think in a dramatic case, that's what they did. I just wanted to share that. I don't know if you want to speak to that anymore, Joan, or not.
No, I think that answers it. I was going to ask you that answer, and I'm looking forward to meeting Yoli, because you did mention her, and I know I haven't met her before as much as I would have liked to. I'm sure I have, but I know that you mentioned how passionate she also is about the business. We have 5 minutes left, so if there's any more questions, you can quickly ask them. I have a question for you, Kathy. Maybe you just want to tell some of the people out there who haven't come here to South Africa, do we have wild animals in our backyard? But you were out in the open, you did see wild animals, didn't you? But yes. I know that if you know, tell us what your first, well, you said you didn't really have expectations of South Africa, so it's not as if anything was a huge surprise to you, but you really enjoyed a little bit of everything, didn't you?
Oh, we did. I just can't tell you enough what a diverse experience it was. And if any of you want to see more, connect with me on Facebook. And I posted pictures. I've only posted half of them. I haven't posted any of the AIM speaking that we did and the traveling that we did with Joan, and I hope to get those up soon. But it was a wonderful visit, and I had no idea what to expect. We visited a lot of diversity, and we certainly weren't frightened of wild animals, but we were so excited to see them. I remember our travel down to the fishing village that you took us, Dolstrom, where we had the most wonderful meals of our entire life, and just precious times together. We saw rhinos out in the field. I think it was a game preserve or something beside the road, but we're just driving along, and Russ and I are like, we're from Idaho, so we're used to spotting game. You know, we are always looking around like, where are the deer and the antelope, and here were rhinos, you know, and then we saw some buffalo and zebra, and it was, we saw antelope many times, but I never felt frightened. And even while we were in Dolstrom, staying in that beautiful Scottish manor, we stayed in a cabin there, and the men went out fishing, and we had a little relaxation, a little massage, and enjoyable time. I walked out in the morning and saw some, I'm trying to think what they were. I don't think they were Inyala, but something like that, a large antelope, and just right there in the road. And it was just such a joy to me to see the diversity of animals, but I didn't feel scared. It was just, I was excited. And then Joan, all of the places that we went, each one was unique and diverse and different. So I know that South Africa is a nation of hospitality, and the people are genuinely warm and excited to meet you, not in a superficial way, but in a really deeply genuine way. And just going like we did to Durban, where we went down there, and where it's more of an English settlement with many East Indian people there. That was very diverse. From Cape Town, where we met with many of the AIM members there with Marianne Shearer, and were able to see her set up there. That was wonderful, and to eat of her food and to meet with the different AIM members there. So we just had a lot of diversity, and I just left my mind open to experience South Africa and let it speak to me. So I didn't have expectations, but it way beyond met my expectations. And just the warmth of that whole trip is just such a wonderful time right now. So thank you for all of that. I'll read some of these comments. Jan, you're talking about meeting Dr. Michael O'Brien, and he talked about Prepzymes, and you take them 5 at the start of your lunch and dinner. Yes, and he was one of the, I believe he was key in helping bring those products to AIM. And I'm really thankful for that, that we could have such great products that have a lot of thought into them. As Joan said, the Flora food is human-derived. Most are not. They're plant-derived, and they're not have to be refrigerated, so they're wonderful for taking out and about with you and on traveling. It's really great. So, and Muriel, thank you for joining us today, and we are looking forward to seeing you at convention also.
Okay, well, I think it's nearly time to wrap up. Yes, Muriel, looking forward to seeing you. Muriel and I connected in Beaufort after Savannah. So this is so exciting. And Jan, you and Lee can definitely connect and make sure that both of you are going to be seeing each other again next year. So isn't that wonderful? It is exciting to share across the world, and I think we must do more of this and see if we can even include more people in our conversation. So as we wrap up, the last visit that Kathy and I had together was we took Cullinan Mine, which is just outside Pretoria where we live, one of the largest diamond mining in the world. And what I want to do, and invite Kathy also to think about this with me, maybe we'll do a webinar on diamonds and how that can relate to, in one of my manuals, I talk about finding your key diamond in your business. But we went through the diamond mine, and there's so many facets to it and so many things you can learn from that. So maybe we'll be looking at that later, at one of the later webinars. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kathy. I can't wait to connect with you again. And thank you to all of you that take the time to sign in and to share with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. It's just been a joy, and I feel like all of you, Jan, you said how exciting today, sharing across the world. Isn't it wonderful that we have this wonderful AIM family that we can share across the world, and it transcends cultures, it transcends different nationalities, and we can just share together because of our passion for helping people with health. And it's been such a joy. And Joan, thank you for the time and effort you've put into Chrysalis and helping all of us connect in a deeper way. We will always grow this and treasure our times together. So thank you for the time you've spent today. We look forward to sharing again, and I would love to share again about diamonds. That would be fabulous. We certainly enjoyed that tour at Cullinan. It would be wonderful.
Okay, so thank you. Until next time. Bye-bye.